Alrighty, what is up guys? My name is Tekkie2 and welcome to today's video. Now, this is the first installment of my new series on how to make a map. Now, before this video starts, make sure you like and subscribe and make sure you hit the notifications bell so you don't miss any more installments of this series. Now, in today's video, we will be having a look at roads and how to make roads. Enjoy. Alrighty, so welcome to the first installment of our new series on how to make a map in Roblox. So the first thing we're going to want to do is create a new base plate map here in Studio. Now, there are several plugins that we are going to need for this series. For this episode, we are going to need to use Building Tools by F3X, Advanced Road Tools, as well as TTP's Traffic Light plugin. So those plugins, along with all plugins needed for all this series, will be linked in the video's description, as well as in the playlist description. Alrighty, so now we are going to need to get our reference images. So let's go to Google Maps and get those. Alrighty guys, so we are in Google Maps apps right now, and we are here in Lewes, Delaware, which is what we're going to be basing our map off of. So, as you can see, we need to go into Street View. So let's say we go here. Now, you want to make sure that you get the most up-to-date reference images possible. So 2019 will do. If you can't get anything that's completely up to date, that's also fine. But essentially, whenever you want to build an area, you want to try and have Google Maps open as well to make sure you are building it accurately. You won't always get it 100% accurate, but just a mostly accurate is generally fine. Anyway, so now we are going to go ahead and go back into Studio. Alrighty guys, so we are back here in Studio, and in case you can't tell, we've inserted something. This here is my road pack. This is going to be linked in the description and in the playlist description. So, let's take one of these roads. We'll take this one, move it over here. I would recommend dragging these long distances because I've found that the parts tend to come apart. Also, let's get out the view selected here. Make sure we are oriented correctly. We are. Okay, let's get rid of the view selector. And then now we can get rid of the base plate. You can find it. Bye. I'd also move like this spawn point over to where the road is. That way you're not spawning in a void. So, gonna move this over here. Alrighty, so now we are going to go ahead and publish the place to Roblox. So we're gonna want to create a new game. Call this Lewes because that's the place we are going to be basing in this off. Team create will be off. If you want to turn on team create and have others collaborate on your map, you're welcome to do that. But essentially, we are going to create that. And that has just been successfully created. So we have just created our map. Now, let's get to expanding our road. Alrighty guys, so we are back here in our place, and we're going to need to go ahead and get to extending our road. So we'll want to open up Building Tools by F3X. Now, each of these textures here, textures, their increment is 50 studs. So that's what you want to extend your roads by. 50 studs is a pretty good in increment. If you don't have these dashed lines, you can extend them by less of an increment, especially if you want to have like sharper curves and stuff. But when you have the dashed lines, 50 studs minimum increment that you want to extend roads by, or even shorten roads by, for that matter. So yeah, essentially we're going to extend our road. Probably not all of those at once because some of these may be oriented differently. Yeah, I wouldn't extend all of these by like at once. I would extend them each individually, each line individually, unless it's the dashed lines. Those you can extend 2 of them at once because they'd be oriented the same way. If they aren't, it's fine, but you can if you want to. But yeah, now extending roads, that's all well and good. But what if we wanted to say have a road bisecting this? How would we do that? How would we do that? Well, let's see now. So when doing intersections, you can have and use satellite view for it. But yeah, we're going to make an intersection. So for this, first we need to grab the second road. I'm going to grab this and this because we're going to be making, I believe, a channelized intersection. This should be fun. Alrighty, so have our roads here. First bit I think we're going to do is, I think we're going to do the slip lane first. So, first thing we need to do here is a curve. Now, feel free to adjust any of these roads to meet your needs. They can be adjusted. So, for example, I'm making this right shoulder here a little more narrower because that's how it is in real life. Gonna shrink this down to 10 should be good. Now we are going to be making a curve here. Now when building curves, you can use either my advanced road tools, which is my plugin, or we could use Archimedes 2, which is less effective. It's not designed for building curves. So I'm going to go ahead and use advanced road tools. This isn't adjusted correctly of this road. So I'm just modifying that and correcting it. Essentially, we're gonna, so this is how I do it. I tend to do it like this. You can do it differently. But essentially, we want to open up advanced road tools here. Now, here you can change in occurrence and stuff like that. Here, your binds are all here. I'm going to do this by no, not 2. 3. We'll see how 3 goes. Feel free to experiment with this. You can experiment with it. But essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to create a curve. And just going to keep doing this until eventually we hit 90. Yeah, that's not going to do it. So again, you can experiment with this. 4 degrees might work. So we just adjusted it by 1 degree because a degree could make all the difference. smooth this. 4 might work. I think 4 is gonna work. Yeah, I think 4 is gonna work quite well. 104, 196, 92. Now for this last leg, we are going to adjust this to 2 in order to get the correct rotation. And there we go. We have just created a curve. One part of our little channelized intersection done. Intersections can take quite long to do, or cannot take that long to do at all. It depends on the complexity of intersection. Given the fact that we're doing a channelized intersection here, this isn't correct. Oh, okay. Interesting. I just realized that these lines aren't lined up correctly. Hold on. Alright, I think the solution to that is just we move these down by like 1. And we start again, of course. Okay, so yeah. So obviously if things aren't right, just restart. It's okay to restart on something if you don't think it's perfect. You want to try and get as good as you're gonna get. So with this, I can do better. So I am going to redo this. So change that to 2, and we're at 90 degrees. Alright, so again, it's alright to have, make mistakes in this. You can, have little imperfections, but if you can do better, you should. So that's what I've done. I've realized my mistake and I've corrected it. Now, we don't need the second lane here. So you can also adjust lanes as well. So like you could remove this. I don't want to do that. You could say remove this lane marker, and then we're gonna go ahead, resize this. Oh, and not resize. Move this along with the shoulder. Just make sure that's lined up. That is, and then just adjust to the road. Simple. And then let's make our intersecting road here. And I think we should also alter some of these lines here. So we don't need this wedge in this line anymore. So again, you can also alter roads depending on what you need. So like, I'm going to move this one up just to get an idea of how far back we should go with the white line. Now, in order not to get a text at a texture glitch, I would do something like this, so there aren't conflicting textures. Now, we're gonna have this white line go through. And it comes out here. Now, first let's get this wedge bit. .05. You want to try and make sure that the wedges don't overlap roads, just in case there's like a minuscule gap in where the wedge is just a little higher than of a road surface. Because that does happen, because Roblox Studio does stuff that is sometimes very dumb. But yeah, I wouldn't have wedges intersecting the, like, conflicting with the road in case that happens. It you can have that in some circumstances if it isn't seen, or if you can't notice it, it's fine. But if you do just try and correct it, because if you don't, it's probably gonna bug you for days. I don't know. It does that for me. But yeah, essentially we're filling in gaps here, because that's probably a good idea. If you don't, that's not good. But yeah, because the road plugin doesn't fill a big gaps left when you make corners. You have to fill those gaps in yourself, which you can easily do with F3X, as I'm doing right now. So let's fill the gaps. Alrighty, so we have our channelized in its section partly done. Just going to adjust some road markings here, and then all that will be left is the last slip lane, which I probably won't do on camera. So essentially what we're doing here is we're going to be making the left turn lanes. And this will actually involve some use of Tekkie2's, which will also be in the, and a link to that will also be in the video description and the playlist description. Then making some line adjustments. Alright, so I want to open up Tekkie2 here. Set that to, it gives you like a preview. Okay, so that's each gives you a preview of how your rotated part will look. Essentially, you can then render the first part, resize that to how you want, and then voila, resized part. Or not resized. God, can't talk. Rotated part. Render that. You can have Archimedes 2 and F3X open at the same time. Albeit sometimes it isn't helpful. That's 3 studs, so I need to resize that down to 3. And as these should hopefully intersect. There we go. So essentially, we now have these road markings done. Okay, out of the way, Archimedes 2. I need to change that value down to 0.05. That down to there. Alrighty. That there is about most of our channelized intersection done now. All we need to do now is first up put in a stop line. Put in stop lines at both roads actually. Yeah, it's a good idea to put in stop lines. They should be at the very least 2 studs long, or at the very least 2 studs wide of a stop line. That's generally the length I do. It's 2 studs, and also I think everyone else does it like 2 studs wide as well. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get to work on our final ramp, which our final slip lane, which will be done off camera. 0.65. Alrighty, so we are going. I will see you guys when we've done that on that slip lane. Alrighty, guys, and we are back here with our completed channelized intersection. So that's our guide to how to do roads. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. The next installment of this series will probably be coming out on New Year's Day, and in that we will be talking about signs and how to do those. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.